Hello everyone, and welcome back to Think Outside the Board and the first crowdfunding roundup for November 2023. In this video, I will be looking at all of the games that launched between the 24th and the 31st of October, sharing what I think are the best bets of that time period with you. We have 6 campaigns to go over today. As always, my videos are bookmarked, so you can scroll over the play bar, find exactly the content you're looking for, and go right to it. Also, all the campaigns that I'm talking about have links down in the description section. So you can just go down into that description section, click on the link, and it will take you right to the campaign. That way you can find it easily, you can get more information if you need more information, and you can back it if that's something that you want to do. The best way to support this channel is still to like and subscribe. And after we review these 6 campaigns that launched over this last week, I will, at the end of the video, briefly mention the campaigns that are likely to be featured in next week's video, as well as the games that are new to my collection this period. And the reason that you might want to know those is because if those are games that you'd like me to produce teach and review videos for or live stream, you can let me know in the comments. So without any further ado, let's get started on the first of these 6 campaigns for today. And this is for a game called Wondrous Creatures. Now, this launched on October the 25th. They had a funding goal of $20,000. They're currently at $137,000, which makes this the richest campaign for this video, as well as the biggest multiplier if we ignore one campaign that's essentially just selling off old stock and had a very, very low funding goal. So they didn't even really need to hit that funding goal, but it was such a small funding goal that everything compared to it is going to be enormously eclipsed. So if we ignore that one, then this is also the largest multiplier of the video. Now, this is a game designed by a new designer named Yom CW. It has art by Sophia Kang, and it's published by Bad Comment. And Bad Comment has had a few other campaigns that they've handled, a few other games that they've made. I've backed a couple of those. Those games include Life of the Amazonia, Shalia Warring States and its expansion, and Wild Serengeti. And Sophia Kang is kind of their go-to artist. She's done all the art on all of these games. This is a worker placement game, probably in the medium light range. It features set collection and variable player powers. So we're going to take a look at this video, and then we'll come back and go over the 2 pledges and a couple add-ons. And this campaign is going to run until November the 15th. So you have a couple of weeks to think about whether or not you want to back this one.
A mysterious island has been discovered. The peculiar island is said to be full of mysterious creatures, from ones that wisp through the sky to massive reptiles and plump sea creatures. All the news of this newfound discovery has enticed you to board the first ship sailing out to this mystifying island, full of wondrous creatures. From scorching deserts to cavernous caves, various creatures inhabit the island. You've embarked on a journey to bond with these creatures and establish an admirable reserve. Venture through the island, collect resources for your reserve, and encounter an array of unique creatures from cuddly to ferocious. Discover traits never before seen through the diverse creatures you'll meet along the way. It's your job to create harmony within your reserve. Eggs will also contribute to enriching your reserve. Over time, see the island evolve and reform. The powerful abilities provided by the island will further enrich your reserve. Don't forget to unlock your very own abilities to enhance your crew. Your creativity will be the key to unlocking wondrous combinations through the various creatures. The illustrious accomplishments of your reserve will be proven by the collection of polished trophies. Join us as we delve into the world of wondrous creatures.
I'm really impressed by this campaign, I have to say. And I've been impressed by Bad Comet and the trajectory they've been taking from Shalia through Wild Serengeti and Life of the Amazonia. They're making some really pretty good family weight games, maybe a little bit heavier, a little more gamery, with some pretty solid mechanics and interesting meeples and things like that. And watching that video again, I'm like, oh, am I going to have to back this one now? Maybe, maybe not. I think my wife Kristen would really like it though, with its animal cuteness. So we've got a couple different tiers for this. There is the crew tier, which is $55. And anytime I talk about shipping over the course of this video, I'm talking for the continental US. So if you're somewhere else, you need to check out the shipping for your country, your area. It's going to be a little bit different. But in the continental US, the shipping for this is $16. And so the pledge total would be $71. And that includes the base game and the stretch goals. And if we go down a little bit further, we've got the Captain tier for $85, $18 in shipping, so $102 total. And that's going to add in two things, upgraded components and the Gargantuan Beasts expansion. And let's scroll down this part of the page on the left just so we can get a look at that. They talk about the worker placement in the game, giving you a look at some of the, the game assets and stuff, the tableau building. But we just want to go down and take a look at here we go, the Captain tier. We want to look at, see what's in those things. So everyone's going to be getting this Kickstarter exclusive, free gifts for backers, some upgraded meeples and things. And then here's kind of what's in the base box. I'm not going to look through this too closely. But I do want to look more at the expansion here. So this is Gargantuan Beasts, and here's what you're getting in that expansion. And this is what's coming in the Captain tier, along with these upgraded components. So a lot of things going from cardboard to wood. There's also sleeves. Okay, so the add-ons that you can get are the upgraded components for $22, the sleeves for $7, and these are not included in either of the pledges. So if you do want sleeves, you will need to add them on. And I think if we go back up here, do they mention this? Yeah, you can also add this on for $12. I'm not sure why you'd really need to do that unless you wanted to maybe pledge without the upgraded components. So you could pledge the crew tier, add on the Gargantuan Beasts, and then just not get the upgraded components if that's something that you didn't care about. But otherwise, I think you probably just want to do the Captain tier and get both of those things. So this game is slated to deliver in December of 2024, and that's going to be the latest game from Bad Comet, who I think you can feel pretty safe about pledging with them. Okay, so next on the list from there is my favorite things in the String Railway Collection. And this has a funding goal of $12,500. They're at $66,500, which means they've done, about 5 times their funding goal. This was an October the 26th launch, and this campaign is going to run until November the 9th. Now, there's essentially 3 different games in this campaign because the String Railway Collection is 2 games in 1. You've got my favorite things here, which is from a pair of Japanese designers, and it's being published by a company called Play for Keeps. The only thing that they've published previously is a game called Overstocked. And then the String Railway Collection brings together 2 games from Hisashi Hayashi, who's probably best known for Yokohama and Trains. And the 2 games in this box are String Railway and String Railway Transport. So the first is a network and route building game, and the other one introduces or adds into that pick up and deliver. And I would call these light to medium light network and route building games. So we're going to take a look at this video right now, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the 2 pledges and the single add-on.
Play for Keeps presents 3 critically acclaimed Japanese games in 2 boxes on 1 Kickstarter. You won't know your cards, but you'll get to know your opponents in My Favorite Things. To start playing, everyone gives their neighbor a category personal to them. You then write down your top 5 favorite things in the category you've been given, along with 1 thing you hate. Re-sleeve the cards, hiding the numbers, and pass them back to the person who gave you the category. You then play cards from your hand into tricks, trying to deduce the value of each card as you go. When everyone has played a card, reveal the numbers. The lowest wins, unless someone played a favorite thing and someone else played a hated thing, in which case the hater wins. Playable from 3 to 6 players, this game will quickly become one of your favorite things. Create your own landscape and build your own rail network in String Railway from legendary designer
Hisashi Hayashi.
Each turn you place a station and lay a railway, scoring points for connecting to new stations and losing points for crossing already placed strings. Stations score differently, so place them carefully, position your string to block your opponents, and score the most points after 5 turns to win. Once you've mastered String Railway, take things to the next level with String Railway Cubed, a standalone game included in the same box. In String Railway Cubed, you start out with the map already built. To win, place railways and spend action points to transport goods to matching stations, all the while fulfilling contracts, adding your own stations to the board, and upgrading your engine. At the end of the game, points are scored for sets of different goods collected. Playable from 2 to 5 players, this box gives you 2 fantastic standalone games in one. Get My Favorite Things and the String Railway Collection together by backing now on Kickstarter.
All right, so going down here, we see the first pledge is just for My Favorite Things. And this is a $31 pledge with $10 in shipping for $41 total. Then there is a pledge just for the String Railway Collection. This is a $38 pledge with $10 in shipping for $48 total. And you can get both boxes. So $59 pledge for this, also $10 shipping, $69 total. There is one add-on, which is the game that I previously mentioned. That is the other game that Play for Keeps has produced. And that is a game that you can just add on to your pledges. But that is the only add-on. So that means you just need to pledge for the game or games that you want. And here's that single add-on. So it is the publisher's other game, overstocked, 16 pounds or about $20 US as an add-on. And these games are slated to deliver in October of 2024. Now from there, we're going to take a look at Cargo Empire. This is at about $16,000 off of a $10,000 funding goal, so it's not doing huge business, but it is funded. This was a 10/31 launch, as was the other 3 games that I'll be talking about later in the video. And this campaign is going to run until December the 7th. So you've got a while to consider whether this is a campaign or a game that you want to back. More than a month. Now, this is a co-design between Alexander Bogdanovsky and Penny Schechter. Penny is the previous designer of a game called Sea Dragons, and it's being published by Moa Ideas Game Design, who are probably best known for putting out The Flow of History, Mini Express, and Mini Rails. And we've got another kind of train game here. This has got pick up and deliver, network and route building, and variable player powers. There's a very short video we're going to take a look at. It's about 1 minute long, and then we're going to look at the 5 pledges and the add-ons.
Welcome to Cargo Empire, where you rule the world of commerce as you strategically build networks and transport cargo on a fantastic continent at the brink of the industrial age. There is only one action in this game, and that is transporting cargo. Gauge market demand, plan logistic routes, and build new trading posts to carve out your network across the land. Choose different modes of transportation to focus on and become a leader in the industry. Are you prepared to seize the crown in this commercial battlefield? Only one can become the king of commerce in Cargo Empire.
All right, so there are quite a few pledges to go over for this campaign, but they're still keeping it simple on the add-on front. So we've got this Essential Edition here, a $40 pledge with $19 in shipping, $59 total. And this is going to be getting you the Essential Edition of the game with Pledge Manager access. Every pledge here is going to add on like one or two things, and then there'll be some stuff that you can get on as add-ons if you want. So in the next level up here, the Extra Traders, this is a $50 pledge with $20 in shipping, $70 total, and this is going to add on a 5th player expansion to the previous pledge. Then we go to the Deluxe Edition. This is a $60 pledge with $20 shipping, $80 total. You're still getting the 5th player expansion, but now you're also going to be getting UV painted wooden tiles. When we go to Logistic Expert, a $99 pledge with $22 shipping for $121 total. We are then going to add into the package a wooden insert and the 2-piece playmat set. And then finally, we've got Cargo Tycoon, which is essentially their all-in, $120, $22 in shipping, $142 total. You're getting everything that we've mentioned previously in this pledge, plus a metal coin, which is like a first player coin, and an enamel pin set. Okay, and then if we're gonna look at the add-ons over here, there are some things that you can add on separately if you just want these items. So the wooden inserts as an add-on is $30. The 2-piece playmat set as an add-on is also $30. That first player metal coin, $5 as an add-on, and the enamel pin set, which consists of 5 different pins, $30 as an add-on. Finally, Cargo Empire is going to be delivering in June of 2024. Now, next we're going to the Moon Deluxe reprint. Now, they had a $35,000 funding goal. They're at about $95,000, which is a 3-time multiplier. This was also a Halloween launch, October the 31st, and the campaign is going to run until November the 16th. Now, Moon is the 3rd game in a trilogy designed by Hakan Gardner and published by Sinister Fish Games. The first 2 games were Streets and Villagers. This is a light worker placement game. It's got drafting and hand management. You know what we're going to do? We will go take a look. There's no video on the page. There's not a really good one that I was able to find. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go to their video section because there is, I think, a fairly quick overview. 3-minute board games. Here we go. So this is what we're going to watch.
This video is brought to you by the 3-minute board game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Moon in about 3 minutes. Review copy used. It has a solo mode. It's a game for 1 to 5 players. Playing time is medium, and it's a moderately complex game. You are building a city on the moon, but you are not alone. You have rivals who are building cities as well. But can you build the most beloved city and become the new capital of the moon? The game ends after 3 eras of play, with each era lasting 6 to 8 card plays by each player. The winner is the player with the most points, shown using these heart tokens. And you can find them in lots of places. Drafting. Each turn you will play 1 card and then pass your hand to the next player. Set collection. Collecting sets of symbols on cards will score you points. Player turn. Set up a number of bronze, silver, and gold reputation cards based on the number of players. Then each player selects one of the 5 starting bases and takes 2 rovers. In Moon, there are 4 main resources: food, water, energy, and metal. These tokens are double-sided, with one side showing 3 of a kind. The game revolves around cards, so let's look at one closely. At the top is its cost to play and the flags required to play it. This section here is what you gain if you trash the card instead of playing it. In this case, that's 1 metal token. There is also a space for a player to park a rover and a list of flags this card provides. You open your turn with a production phase, gaining any resources shown on the left of your base. You'll start the game with a hand of cards. When it is your turn, you will pick one of those cards and play it. You will then put the remaining cards to one side. Once all players have played a card, you will then pass those cards left. As well as playing a card, you can also take an expedition action on your turn. These actions move with the hand when it is passed, so in a 4-player game, there will be 4 different expedition actions moving around the board. Now let's take a look at the 5 different types of cards. Blue cards go on the left of your base and produce their production resources when placed. Yellow cards have tags and are placed on the right side of your base. Grey cards tend to produce victory points in the form of heart tokens. Pink cards can be flipped over once per game as an additional action, granting their one-time effect. And red cards are returned to your hand to be drafted again after providing their bonus. Additionally, you can also place 1 rover on another player's board, either gaining resources or flags needed for construction. And finally, you can claim a reputation card if you meet its criteria. This can grant you ongoing bonuses and points. Once all cards in the era have been played, you score this track, granting the points on the display to the player with the most of that flag. In the case of a tie, reward no points. For round 2, add in the 4-point markers and the 5-point markers for round 3. This means the last round could potentially score big. Also, at the end of the era, claim all rovers placed into your base by other players. They are yours to use next era. Why would you like this game? Like the previous 2 games from Sinister Fish, Moon is a small box game with a lot of game in it. As always, the art style is a minimalist style that I really dig, and the overall presentation of the game is great.
Okay, so I've played Streets and Villagers on Board Game Arena. You can too. And I like them a lot for what they are, kind of smaller, simpler games. And to me, Moon feels like there's a little bit more going on than in Villagers, but it feels somewhat related. It shares some mechanics with Villagers. Now, there are 9 different pledges to go over, but a lot of them are just for different versions of wooden coins. And it seems like this campaign is largely for those wooden coins, as much as it's just to get out more copies of Moon. So the first pledge here that you can pledge is just for this playmat, the Moon playmat. It's a $25 pledge. What is shipping on this campaign, by the way? Let's see. Here's where they have the shipping listed for this campaign, but it's in terms of weight. And let's see, we're in Zone 2 in the USA. They're listing, let's see, shipping at 9 pounds, which is $12. That's for the first kilogram, and then for every additional kilogram, you're going to be paying an additional $4. But I'm not really sure of the weights of these pledges, so we're just going to talk about the pledges themselves, and then you'll need to go and compute the shipping if you're interested in a specific pledge. And normally I compute the shipping for you, but there's just a little bit more going on under the hood in this one. So I'm just going to talk about the actual pledge prices. So this is a $5 pledge just for the playmat. And then we've got a bunch of these coin chests, and they are all $25 to pledge as well. There's just different styles here. So this is kind of a flat, simple style. This is coin chest 1. Coin chest 2, also $25, and it's this kind of money that's rectangular and in pastel colors, and then the coin chest itself, kind of represents the money type a little bit better. Then we've got coin chest 3. We're going back to circular coins, but these are a little bit more involved in kind of this interesting coin chest here, but it's also a $25 pledge. And then we've got coin chest 4, also $25. It has this kind of, they call it sci-fi cyberpunk, but it is kind of a credit chip token. And then the coin box looks a lot like these new construction houses that you're seeing with not many windows. So those are the first 5 pledges. Then we get to the actual game itself. So this is for Moon Deluxe. This is a $56 pledge, not including shipping. And this is just the Deluxe edition, the Kickstarter version of the game. This pledge here, all the coins, is for all 4 coin sets. So this is an $87 pledge. If you were pledging them separately, they'd be $25 each or $100 total. So you're getting a $13 savings bundling these all together if you do in fact want 4 different coin chests. And then the penultimate pledge, Moon, the whole of the, is going to include the deluxe version of the game and then add on some extras. That includes the Valkyrie expansion, the playmat, and sleeves. So this is a $112 pledge, not including shipping. And then the final pledge is all the things. So that basically takes this, Moon, the whole of the pledge, and combines it with all the coins. So you're going to be getting all of the stuff for Moon, the Valkyrie expansion, the base game, the playmat, the sleeves, but then you're also going to get all 4 coin chests. And that is a $198 pledge plus shipping. Now they do list some add-ons over here. So if you're just interested in getting the Valkyrie expansion, let's say you got Moon at retail and you just want this expansion, this is $18 as an add-on. The Moon card sleeves are $22 as an add-on. There's another game of theirs. It's called Wizards & Co. And they say here it's a competitive game of tactical dungeon raiding from the designers of Grand Austria Hotel Coimbra and Alma Mater. Okay, so that is $29 as an add-on. And then there are a few things that they don't actually list. So if you go over here and click on the details section, optional add-ons. Yeah, there's a Wizard & Co. Loot drop. So this is just an extra thing for Wizards & Co. This is $7 as an add-on. There are sleeves that you can add on for Wizards & Co. That is $13. Then there are the sleeves for Moon itself, right? And the playmat for Moon itself. Now they listed the sleeves and the add-ons. They didn't list the playmat, but you can add the playmat on as well. And that is a $25 add-on. Finally, if we go back to the pledges themselves, we can see that all of these various pledges, all of this Moon stuff, is scheduled to deliver in April of 2024. And then we're going to head over to Gamefound for one campaign, and this is a sell off the old stock campaign. And they had a very low funding goal for this, $1,000, because they don't actually have any overhead. They're not producing anything. They're just selling off old stock. They've got $74,000 in the campaign so far. And this is for Nova Aetas Renaissance. We're going to go over here and look at both versions of Nova Aetas because the game was originally kickstarted in 2016. Well, that's when it first published anyway. And as we can see, it has a 7.3 rating on Board Game Geek and a 3.5 complexity. So this is a heavy game. And there's 3 designers, Luca Bernardini, Andrea Coletti, and Danielle Coletti. So they went in 2022 and did a new version and lost one of the designers in the process. So this new version is just designed by Luca Bernardini and Andrea Coletti. It's got a higher rating here on Board Game Geek. It's an 8.6, significantly higher. So that probably means that they did tweak and improve a lot of things. They also reduced the complexity. What was once a heavy game, you're now looking at a medium-heavy game. And this is really just into the medium-heavy range. Like it's closer to medium-light than it is to heavy. So in a lot of people's estimation, they made this a simpler game and a better game. And this is the version that you're now able to get here through this campaign. And again, they're just selling off old stock. But I can tell you that this is a cooperative tactical dungeon crawler. It's set during the Italian Renaissance, features action points, and the 2 designers also worked on Scene Tempore, which is another game from Ludus Magnus Studios. Now, the publisher here, Ludus Magnus, is best known for Black Rose Wars, DEI Divide at Impera, Dungeonology, The Expedition, Nova Aetas, and Scene Tempore. And we're going to watch the first video here. This is about a 2.5-minute video. And then we'll take a quick look at the single pledge, because if you do want this, you're just getting some old stock. So there's one pledge level to back at. So it's kind of just an all or nothing, a do it or don't do it. But let's take a look at the video so you can decide if you want to do it or not.
Why did we end up here? I certainly didn't study the magical arts for years to end up in the middle of this sad province.
Rebecca, my dear, your arts, as well as my science, Valerio's sword, and Sophia's stealth, are now at the service of Rome.
Now we need to decide whether to look for information at the inn or the cottage. Sophia.
Fortune favors the bold. Surely they think I'm wasting time, but they'll be happy to know how much gold I'm winning at dice. Hey? Wait.
Sophia, come here.
It's an ambush!
As I imagined, now I'm their favorite target. Ouch.
Well, a slightly better target. Let's see what we can do.
But we will manage once again, stronger than before. Indeed, no longer call me Squire, but Knight.
This is just the beginning. And to reach the end of our journey, we have lots of hunts and adventures ahead of us, more and more challenging as we go.
That, one way or another, we'll write our own story.
I actually backed another of their projects called DEI Divide et Impera, and I was really impressed with it, actually. And one thing about their games is that they're all set in the same kind of universe, and so there are elements, story elements and things that happen in the lore of their games that carry through the games, which is pretty neat. But you'd have to play a lot of these games, and these are big, complex, deep games to really get the full value of all that. But it has me really kind of wanting to back this and live stream this for the channel. But I have so many other big campaign games, and I'm trying to kind of get some games out of my collection right now and not really get new stuff. But I'm really tempted by this. So this is the North America pledge. There's kind of different pledges depending on where you live. So if you're in North America like I am, there are 180 of these remaining. It says pledge 77 times, so I don't know if that means there's like 103 left. Possible, because this is a graphic here that doesn't update automatically. So it's possible that they started with 180 and they're down 77. Either way, this pledge, it's the same no matter where you're pledging from. You just want to pledge from your hub. So in the North Americas, this is $327. There's $59 shipping on this. So that's going to be $386 total. And it's just an all-in for this game that was previously produced on Kickstarter, Nova Aetas. There's no add-ons. There's nothing like that. It's just you're doing this huge big pledge for the entire game, or you're not. And because it's already been produced and they're just selling off old stock, this is going to deliver fairly quickly, hopefully by Christmas in December 2023. And then from there, we're going back to Kickstarter for the final campaign of the video. This is called Wild Duo. It's actually for 5 different games. And 4 of these games are designed by Mitsuo Yamamoto, who works out of Japan. He's a sort of independent designer. He does abstract strategy games. His company is called Logi Games. And he uses things like ceramic tiles. Everything's just very handcrafted, and I've tried to feature him before. I have featured him before in my videos and on my website. But his stuff feels very handcrafted in a good way, but also in a bad way. If you're looking to get something super polished. So if you've been curious about his designs before, I think having his designs in this packaging, in this theme, it's probably the best produced version I've seen of his games, because it's just very colorful. These components in these games just look attractive and better produced than the games that Mitsuo does himself. Now, it's being published by Treacer, who have been known in the past for doing Darwin's Curse, Pachacuna, and Zoo Tycoon, the board game. So we've got a 2-minute video here to look at, and then we'll go over the 2 pledges, and there's just one add-on, which is non-gameplay related. It's a plushie, but we'll take a look at it. This campaign also launched on Halloween, October the 31st. They had a $22,000 funding goal. They're at about $28,000, so they're funded. And it seems to be the case that nothing is funding hugely this week. You aren't seeing enormous numbers because I think people just haven't been paying attention to Kickstarter as much during Halloween. And there's definitely been less launching as well. But this campaign will run until the end of November the 30th. So let's watch this video and then we'll take a look at the 2 pledges.
Kickstarter. This time, not with a single game, but with a whole board game collection. Wild Duo consists of 5 unique 2-player games that all play and feel differently. Each game comes with its own detailed board and high-quality game components.
What connects all 5 games is their simplicity and cleverness. They are easy to learn, but hard to master. You won't spend hours reading the rules, so you can right away jump in the game and have a great time.
In essence, these are abstract strategy games, but for each game, we were able to choose a matching theme that represents a specific animal behavior and immerses you in a different world.
As with the Bolivian bag and llamas from our previous game Pachacuna, it was important to us to give this campaign authenticity. With Little Ndaba, we found the perfect partner for this project. They're a social business from Zambia that sustainably produces and sells handmade cotton animals, empowering local women. So our deluxe pack includes this very cute, handmade and fairly paid elephant that looks exactly like the one on our cover.
You see, once again, we have put a lot of heart and thought into this project. So if you like 2-player board games, or search a great game to kick off your board game night or end your hard day of work with a clever game, then Wild Duo is the perfect match for you. And it even comes at a very fair price. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay, so the pledges for this are simple. There's only 2. The first here is for the game. It's called Wild Duo. This is a $39 pledge, $15 shipping, $54 total. And the other pledge, the Deluxe, it doesn't actually deluxify the game at all. It just adds on the plushie. So you're getting the game and the plushie. It's a $67 pledge with $15 shipping, $82 total. Now, you can add on more plushies for $30 each. I can't remember if they actually have an add-on section over here. But you can I know that you can add on more for $30. Yeah, it doesn't look like they list it. But if you were to go over here and go into the details, it would give you the option here to add on more plushies for $30 each. So that is it. That's the last campaign of the video, and this one is slated to deliver in June of 2024. So that ends the main part of the video for today. The only game that I received this period, because this is a very short period coming on the heels of the other big video I just got out, the only other new game to my collection is Arborea, which I kickstarted. It's from designer Danny Garcia, and I also pre-ordered his other game recently, Barcelona. So he's a newer designer. Those are his 2 first games. I played Barcelona with Paul Grogan at Gaming Rules. It's good. It's a really good game, and I look forward to getting the physical copy to the table, and now I have Arborea as well. So let me know in the comments if that is a game that you would like to see a teach and review made for, if that's something that you're thinking about getting and you'd like, some feedback, or if you'd like to see me produce a live stream for that game, Arborea, or both. And then the games that are likely to be featured in the next video coming next week are Kalamala from Alley Cat Games, the new Perseverance Castaway Chronicles, episodes 3 and 4 from Mind Clash, Stars of Icarius, reprint and expansion from Games. So it's going to be a second chance to get Stars of Icarius, and it's a new version, a 1.5 version. And it's sort of a dungeon crawler in space. And Games has been producing some other games that I've been very interested in, including Mythwind, which should be delivering fairly soon. So I'm becoming more and more interested in what Games is doing. So Stars of Icarius may be something that I personally back. And then finally, Undergrove from AEG. There's also one other campaign that has already launched called Pocket Planet from sort of an independent designer, and that's something that I likely will include as well. So we're looking at maybe having 5 games in next week's video, although I don't know yet completely. We'll have to see what actually ends up launching. Thank you very much for joining me here today. If you haven't liked or subscribed, you can still do that. Have a great week, play lots of great games, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.